Hi everybody, welcome to episode 35 of Knits and Pieces podcast. I'm Kelly.
I'm Noelle.
And we are together, a mostly knitting but a multi-crafting podcast, and we are coming to you from Southern Ontario in Canada, and today is December the 17th of 2021. This is going to be our last formal podcast of the year, but we still have two more Tuesday night knit chats to do, and
one before Christmas and
one before Christmas and one after. And the one after,
yes,
we should talk about that. The one after is going to be a pajama night. It's a pajama party. So if you can send us a picture either on Instagram, or you can send it through Ravelry if you like, or just send it how else could they get?
I have an Instagram, not an Instagram, Gmail that's Knits and Pieces podcast.
Maybe not.
No, at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Okay. Take a photo of yourself in your pajamas, knitting, maybe drinking wine. Drinking wine would be nice too. And cheers.
COVID cheers.
COVID cheers, yes. And send it to us, and I'm going to put together a little slideshow that we're going to show on the knit chat between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
And then you can come to knit chat in your pajamas. We will be in our pajamas, of course. Only you will get to see us. We won't get to see all of you. So I'm hoping to collect lots of pictures.
Yeah.
I've gotten a few already. Hoping for lots more, so I can put that together in a show for us.
Yeah.
So knit chat, if you're unfamiliar with it, is just a group of us that get together on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. We knit, we talk about our knitting, we talk about pretty much everything.
We never know what we're going to talk about. We never know.
It's sort of...
It's a non-directed conversation. It's just like the same conversation you would have if you went out to the coffee shop with your knitting friends.
And it's completely interactive, so you can join in with your keyboards, and we're responding to you and talking about all things knitty and otherwise.
Yes, and you'll see when we get to whips, Kelly and I have finally found a project that we can actually knit and still talk at the same time, because up till now I think it's been we knit 2 or 3 rows and then unknit them the next morning.
Realize that we've made mistakes, because it's hard to stay in the chat and talk and respond and keep up with the chat that's going on in the sidebar, but we're having so much fun in there.
Yes, it is. And we've met so many nice people, and we look forward to Tuesday nights and chatting with everyone.
And it is such a fun group.
Yes.
And very warm and welcoming. So if you have an opportunity to check that out, we encourage you to do so, and can't wait to see you there.
Yeah.
So that's that. Okay. And let's do some admin first.
Okay, so what are we going to talk about in admin? We're going to talk about our 2 ongoing, well, one's a knit along and one's a make along.
Yes.
Well, I guess we shouldn't even say that the sock one is a...
You can crochet
socks. You can crochet socks if you want. So they're make-alongs.
They're make-alongs.
Okay, so the first one is our ongoing sock cal that's been going on since the beginning of the year. And we draw prizes on a monthly basis. We're getting towards the end of the year now, and we have, what did you say? It was upwards of 1450 pairs.
50
Yeah,
pairs?
so we're trying to get to 1,500 pairs. So
we're so close, and I know that you can do it. I mean, if you could just count the ones that we have knit, we'd be over. But we can't.
No, we can't count.
It has to be all your knitting that counts, and we're close. We're really close. I know we can do it.
So how the cal works is you don't have to start in a specific month. All you have to do is every time you finish a pair, you can just enter them into the finished object thread. So we draw on a monthly basis, but what we do is we go back to the very beginning of the year. So the more pairs that you actually knit and have in there, the more chances you have to win. And then we'll at the very end of the year, we're going to do kind of like sort of a grand prize.
Yes.
Right? So, and then we're talking about continuing this cal for next year, because it's so nice to see all those finished pairs of socks, and socks are something that Kelly and I pretty much always have.
Yes, because they fit in a small bag that you can keep in a car.
Yep.
You can tuck these in your purse.
Yep.
And like you said, you don't even need a bag, really. You can just keep a
ball
of yarn
even if
and
you've got like
needles on the
4 or 5 minutes, you can get like a round or 2 done, right?
Absolutely.
So you can always get a little bit done on them. And they're perfect for using up. We all go to festivals and buy those kind of one skein things that we fall in love with the color. always perfect for socks. They're even good ways to use up like scrappy bits that you've got left. So yeah, so we always have socks on the go. So we're thinking of continuing in that cal into next year.
Yes.
So,
and then maybe next year we can get 2,000 pairs done.
Yeah.
Yay. Yay. And then the second one that we have going on is the WWWMAL, which stands for Warm Winter Woolies.
Right.
And this is also a make-along, so you can knit, crochet, weave.
Whatever else you might do
Whatever
with fiber.
you might do with fiber, yes. And this one is all about outside accessories. So think hats and headbands, scarves, cowls, mittens, gloves, leg warmers.
Yep.
So anything that you use as a winter accessory to leave your house qualifies. We started this one on November 1st and it runs through till January the 31st. And there's already quite a few in there.
Yes.
But you have time because winter or Christmas knitting is coming to an end for a lot of people. So now you've got time to like knit something special for yourself.
Yep.
Right?
I already have some hats and mitts and things lined up that I want to do.
Me too.
So,
so
but I can't start them before Christmas. My knitting's ready, but I have other things that I have to get done.
Well, we've been suckered into these other little crafty ventures now too. So we're falling down rabbit holes of varying degrees.
Yes. Yeah. But they're fun.
They are fun.
They're fun.
They are fun.
And interesting.
And interesting.
So.
And addictive.
Yeah. Yes.
So.
Okay, we should talk about what we're wearing.
Okay, you can start.
Okay, this is my Merry Mint sweater. It's a sweater designed by Natalie Sheldon of Remembrances Pottery. So I knit this back a couple of months ago as a test for Natalie, and the pattern was released, I believe, the middle of November. I did mine in Holst Garn Super Soft, so I've got 11 different colors in here, but altogether the whole sweater weighs just a little bit over 200 grams because the whole Super Soft is a really lightweight fingering. Because I think in a 50 gram skein there's like 275 yards or something in the whole Super Soft.
Yeah, so
it's pretty generous anyway. There's really good yardage in it, so it is quite fine. But when you block it, it does bloom. Like it looks maybe a little ropey or thready when you're knitting with it because it's still got spinning oil in it, but when you block it, it really does bloom.
Yeah, it fills in. Like there are no gaps or anything in there. It looks great.
No. So just do a little stand here, but it's an all over Fair Isle. It's not even though it's double stranded all over because the Holst is so lightweight, like it's not super warm. I mean, it is warm, but it's not necessarily like an outdoor sweater.
Right.
So it's quite comfortable to wear. It does soften up substantially when you block it. Like I just have like a little camisole on underneath, so my arms, it's just with the yarn. And I mean, Kelly, you're pretty sensitive and you still think it feels pretty soft.
I have lots of cones lined up to make sweaters in the future, and I know I can wear this. This is not going to be a problem.
So really, I really like working
pattern
with it. And there's so many colors that come with the Holst. And this sweater too, you could have put more colors in it if you wanted. You could have put less colors, like you kind of could have toned it down, or there's a lot of things that you could do with it. The pattern repeat is amazing because it's only mostly 8 to 10 stitches, so there's not any long color runs where you have to worry about catching floats.
Right.
You could take bits and pieces of the pattern and put it into different things. You could have done a sweater with just the design up in the yoke and then a plain body and plain sleeves. You could take some of these designs and put them on socks, hats. Mitts. So yeah, it's a really nice pattern, and it's fun and interesting because you're changing all the time. So you just like get one motif done, which doesn't take you that long, and you're moving on to something else.
Right.
And she did really clever things in the pattern, like when you've got the holly up here, it goes like this way, and then when you move on to the next one, she's got it going the other way. And I probably made my fingers go in the wrong direction. But anyways. That's what I mean. And she did the same thing. There's branches, and she did the same thing. Like on the first repeat, they're going one way, and then in the next repeat, they're going the opposite direction. Nice. So so it's it was a lot of fun to knit. So this is probably one of my favorite types of knitting.
Well, it's so pretty. I really like it.
And it's so nice to see the colors develop, and everybody's looks different and unique because everybody puts together their own set of colors. So. Even though you do a pattern and that pattern may be knit by a lot of people, because you're picking your own color combinations and the way you kind of put the pattern in order, everybody's is a little bit different.
Yes, and I really like the color choices you used.
Thanks. Thanks.
I like this blue. This is a really, what color blue? Is that their?
Cloudberry.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if it was river because it looks similar to the.
No, well, a lot of their colors are really good for shading because they're just like varying degrees off. So you could easily do shading with a lot of the whole garden colors. Like I don't even know how many colors there are. There's a lot.
A lot. A lot.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm wearing the Love Note sweater by Tin Can Knits. And I did wear this a couple of episodes ago, but tonight we're podcasting in Noelle's house so we can have the tree behind us. And I just thought it kind of went with her tree and actually
and it goes with my
kind
sweater.
of goes with this. So it's a beautiful, it's kind of a holiday color sweater.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Gold. There's little pops of blue in it too. So I knit this one with Emma's yarn, and I used a Hella Hank, which is 150 grams skein in the main color, which was Orbit, and then I added to that a skein and a half of mohair in the colorway Wish You Were Beer.
Okay.
And
I always get mixed up with that and think it's butterbeer.
Wish You Were Beer.
Okay.
And it has a beautiful halo to it. The yarn is really soft, and it's a great pattern because you can do that whole sweater in 150 grams. And it's crop, but, and then the 3/4 sleeve. So this is as the pattern called for. You've knit other ones.
Yeah, I've knit kids ones and I've knit 2 adult ones. So I've knit the one adult one I did as a sample for Little Red Mitten, and then they wanted it longer, so I did a little bit longer. Mine's probably a little bit not quite as cropped as yours, the one that I did for myself. And I did mine actually out of Barocco Summer Silk, which is just a DK weight yarn. So it wasn't anything, like I didn't have to hold 2 strands together. So that's a choice too. Like basically what they're looking at is a gauge with a DK weight yarn. So you can either get that by holding a fingering weight with a mohair or just a DK. And I've done both, and I've done a couple of kids ones, and one I did holding the mohair and the other one I did just in a DK yarn. And again, you've got choices with your sleeves. You can do them full length, you could do them short sleeves, 3/4 sleeves. There's a couple of different options in the hem too, because you can do that slope at the back.
Yes, I did a little bit. So mine just sits a little bit lower at the back. If you do want to crop, sometimes that's a nice idea because otherwise, as you're moving or whatever, it's going to end up halfway up your back. So just adding the little bit of short row shaping at the back gives it, just sits a little bit better in the curve. And then there were other options too. Like I know that it calls for a provisional cast on, which I did in my first sweater because I just stuck to the pattern. I stayed to the pattern, but then after I did the first one, I thought, I'm not really sure why I did that. I guess it's because some people were saying that the neckline was a little tighter for them, so the provisional cast on gave you options if you wanted to decrease more or just go with it as
you could either widen your neckline or you could bring it in.
But after I did the first one and I realized where my comfort level was with the sweater, and I hadn't adjusted it at all, so when I cast this one on, I just went for it. I did for a straight cast on, and I did a regular bind off, but I feel this almost feels like a tubular cast on. I don't know. Maybe it's not. No,
I don't think so.
Okay.
But.
So anyway, that's the Love Note sweater, and their patterns are super size inclusive, and they go all the way from a small child all the way up to adult in multi sizes. Yeah. So it's a great pattern. It's good value,
and it looks good on adults, and it looks good on kids.
Yes, and I don't know how many of these sweaters have been knit
lots
added onto Ravelry,
and we still want to do more.
Yeah.
So, because I don't really have a wintry one, like I want to do one that I hold with mohair. So that might be somewhere in 2022.
Well, and I didn't even realize until after I had this done. I just thought this was kind of like an open work leaf pattern, but somebody said, no, these are actually the hearts.
Yep.
I don't know.
So,
anyway.
Okay, so we should move on to our FOs. Okay.
You can start.
Okay. So my first FO, and I'm pretty sure on the last podcast, I wanted to say that these were started. So I think I had cast them on and done.
One row.
One row.
They were on needles though.
They were. So this is a pair of Socks on a Plane. So Socks on a Plane is a pattern by Laura Linneman. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. Again, there's been a lot of those socks knit.
Yes.
So the original pattern is toe up, but I did mine top down because it's a pretty easy pattern to do either way. And that pair is done in West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply, and that is the Holly Berry colorway. So the heel is the Catcha United, which comes in the little 25-gram balls, and that color is called Moss. And so I think I only used 10 grams total for the heels. And this is a man's pair of socks. So this is 72 stitches, and if you look, I mean, you can tell the foot length and the leg length is, you know, fairly long, but that still only used 0.68 of a skein of the West Yorkshire Spinners.
Really?
Yep. Because it's got really good yardage in it too, and I love the way it feels. Like the West Yorkshire Spinner Signature 4-ply has 35% BFL in it, and I really like that yarn.
Yeah, it is, and I think it's a really good workhorse yarn too.
And I really like that colorway. And I know it's Christmassy, but it's like you can still wear that after.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Anyway,
Very nice.
So this is the last pair of my Lucky Dip cowl that I did for the whole year. The Lucky Dip cowl was a cowl put on by Kate of Hawthorne Cottage, and how it worked was you picked out 12 skeins out of your stash at the beginning of the year, and then every month you drew out a skein, and that month you worked on that skein. So you didn't have to do socks, and it didn't have to be fingering weight yarn. It was just a different skein for every month. So I did that, and Ross would pull, well, he'd hold up the bag, or I'd hold up the bag, and he'd pull one out every month, and then I'd decide what I was going to knit that way. I knew I had to do 6 male adult pairs and 6 female adult pairs and 3 little girls pairs. So the 12 adult pairs came out of my Lucky Dip. No, 11 of them. Then I had one others, and then one of the girls' ones came out of the Lucky Dip because I did 3 pairs out of the one skein. But that basically took care of all my Christmas sock knitting, so I didn't really have to think about it. You know, I wasn't in December going, oh, I still have 4 pairs of socks to knit.
And it was just a coincidence that December ended up being
Hollyberry.
The Hollyberry yarn.
Yep.
It wasn't specifically saved.
So.
But
yeah, so the only thing I really had to
Christmas
worry about was making sure that I had the right number of male and female pairs because of the size difference. So.
Yes.
Nice. So again, I think I'm going to do that again next year because I do believe I have enough Patton's Croy to do Patton's Croy socks for everybody next year.
I might join you on that next year.
Well, it's good because then you've got a pair done every month without even, and we knit socks all the time anyway.
Right.
And I mean, I'll still do a couple of pairs for myself, but I have a lot of socks.
I do too, but that doesn't mean I don't like new ones.
I know, but I'm happy to make them for
as many pairs as I have.
Know.
Sometimes I'll go to the sock bins and I'll say, okay, well, I'm going to put this sweater on today. I need this color sock, and it won't be there. Yeah, so clearly, in all the socks I've knit, I have some color
But I'm
gaps.
okay if my socks don't match my sweater. So
yes.
I just want them to be knit and warm and on my feet.
Okay. All right. Okay. I have one.
Okay.
I'm calling it.
Socks.
I have a sock. I've got an FO sock now. I'm so close to being done this pair, but all I have left to do, so to be fair and to be honest, this is a finished one, and this one is finished except for just putting in the heel, which is less than an hour of work for me to do, but everything else is done on it. So this is the Curio socks by Andrea Mowry, and I love this one.
I know, I love that. And I love the yarns in it too.
So what I used was Ravenswood fiber, and this is going to blow out because it's undyed yarn. It's just a very neutral cream color. And then I paired that with gathering yarn in the colorway Plum. And this is a slow rolling gradient. You can see the gradient a little bit better on that side.
Well, it's kind of like a marled gradient.
It's a marled gradient, yes. Yeah. And so...
And it barely looks like you used any of it.
I know.
Like.
Well, okay, so these ones are being gifted away, and this is why I'm calling this an FO tonight, because by the next time we podcast, these will be gone from me. I won't have them anymore. But I wanted to show them off while I still had them on a podcast, and I really like them. So normally this would bother me that they aren't an exact match, but it really doesn't.
No.
I don't mind it at all.
Good.
And I think this pattern went a lot quicker than I thought it would. When you look at it, it looks fairly detailed, but honestly it went very, very quickly, and you could do a lot of things with this. So I used the slow marl gradient, but I think this would look equally nice with a self-striping or just even a heavily variegated. or even solids, just because it's like a micro striping pattern.
Yeah.
So if you had two very contrasty colors, that would be a unique effect too. I'm hoping that the white toes and heels hold up okay. That's traditionally, you know, where you wouldn't put a light color, but I just thought in this case,
Well, that
it
sets
really
off that yarn really nicely.
It
with
does, yeah.
the cream color in it.
And I used a tubular bind off instead of the stretchy one that she calls for. The other thing, and I will just mention this because I think my tension, I think I'm like what I would call a normal tensioned knitter. You knit
I knit probably a little
tighter. And this is a 60 stitch sock, but in the pattern it does ask that you knit it on one size larger than you would normally. So normally I would use a 2.25, so I use a 2.5. These are a little loose for me. Now maybe some people like that fit anyway, but I like a sock to fit my foot sort of snugly, and these ended up a little bit too loose. So I have somebody in mind that these are going to fit, and I know that she'll really like them. So that.
Well, they look really nice. I want to knit those. Those are on the list for next year.
Yes, I want it. Well, I'm going to knit them again because I want a pair for myself, and I honestly probably will just do these two colors again because I really liked it.
Well, I might do that color too because I have that yarn.
There you go. Well, this is where the yarn came from. You bought this yarn for me.
Yeah, well, it looks really nice on that.
Yeah, it's a perfect yarn pairing.
Yes.
So, okay, what else do you have?
Okay, so I have my my third. You've seen these for the last little while, but this is my third petite knit festival sweater slash dress slash sweater. So the very first one that I knit, I followed the pattern. I used fingering weight yarn, but it was a lot of knitting. So I decided if I'm doing two more of these, I'm going to adjust it a little. I want to do it in a little bit thicker weight yarn. So this is a DK weight yarn. So the sweater pattern, the festival sweater, is actually a DK weight. The festival dress is a fingering weight. So I kind of, between the two patterns, figured out what I would have to do the dress and make adjustments for the fact that you wouldn't want it quite as wide across here when it's a dress as when it's a sweater. Mm-hmm. So I just basically figured out what I wanted based on gauge, actually.
Right.
So, and then the yarn that I held with this is a hand spun. It was a braid of fiber from Stitch Noir. It was their Be a Freaking Unicorn colorway. The solid color in this is Barocco Vintage DK. This color, I can't remember what it's called, but it's in my Ravelry page. But this one is blocked, and it just feels like the vintage DK just feels
so
amazing.
Soft, I know.
So
I made, in the same yarn, I made one of the hipster shawls.
Okay.
And it is, it's a dream to wear. So soft.
Like it's 40% wool. I can't remember what the rest of the fiber is in it, but for kids' garments, like it's machine washable.
And it's such a reasonably priced yarn too.
Yeah, because when you're looking at doing something for kids, like, I mean, they'll get all this winter out of it. Whether they get next winter out of it or not depends on how much they grow. So they might be able to wear it kind of like a tunic next year, but it all depends on how much they grow.
And you can definitely feel like it's a little bit of a weight to it too. Like it isn't, just some very loose yarn. You can feel the substance.
And I knit it on a 4mm needle, so it's a fairly tight gauge, but then you want that because you want the dress to hold its shape.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So
it's so cute.
Yeah,
I
really
think you
like
should make yourself one. I really do. I think it'd be so cute. You see it with tights and your Blundstone boots. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's very pretty.
Maybe. I would actually like it. That's the type of dress I would wear.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Yeah. I can't wait to see the picture.
I know.
The three little girls.
I know.
So
Zoe will be going, I'm too hot.
No, right. After 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's too hot. But it's beautiful.
Anyway,
well done.
Thanks. Yeah,
well done.
I'm happy with those. So I hope they get some wear out of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. What else do you have?
How many more do you have?
That's it for knitting ones.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll move on.
Okay.
Right after I get
fluff out of you.
No, I think it's one of my own.
Oh.
Okay. My own hair. So this is just a little hat pattern that I made for Miles. And it is called the Christmas Elf Cap. And it is by Fox and Pine Stitches. It's a free pattern. And she recommends that you just use the impeccable yarn from Michael's.
You didn't plug it on your balloon.
No, I didn't. I just put the palm on it last night.
It's cute.
No, I have to. I don't know if I'll bother. It's acrylic. I don't think I'll block it, right? But it reminds me of the little Dr. Seuss characters.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait to see them in it. Yeah, the little pom pom. I love the little pom pom on it too. It's so cute. And this pattern is fun because it goes all the way from a 0 to 3 months up to an adult. So you could make these little stocking caps for the entire family. I should have made them for us for pajama night, maybe.
Oh well. Okay, we'll get knitting.
And anyway, so this is a nice little segue into what I made next, which was, in my ultimate wisdom, I decided a few nights ago I should make a quilt. So I started the quilt, and I finished the quilt last night at 2 a.m.
It's gorgeous.
And this is the snowman portrait quilt. And I bought it. It's actually a kit from Shabby Fabrics. I've never bought yarn from, fabric. I've never bought fabric from them before. They're a company in the States.
Oh, this feels amazing.
It's so soft. It's
really
a
nice,
flannelette. Yeah, it's a flannel quilt. So they sent one panel, which I had to cut all apart for the snowmen to like fussy cut out the snowmen. And then this candy cane is all piping border that I put in. Then the ornament border. There's a little snowflakes that you have here. And then the whole back of the quilt is it's tumbling snowmen in hats. So there's lots of pattern options here, and
I know, but they all go together so well. So you just get the amount of fabric that you need then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a little bit extra, but...
and the batting comes with it too?
No, I did have to buy the batting. So I got that the other night, because I thought I had some, but all that I had was polyester, and I wanted the real warm and natural batting. So it is finished, but I think I still want to do a few things, because now I have time. But I was thinking, like, where all of these little snowflakes are, I might do a little bit of embroidery. There's 3 snowflakes on every little square. I thought I might do a little bit of embroidery on there to kind of make the snowflakes pop a little bit, but it matches with the colors.
I know, and I love those colors. They're not they're not the bright in your face Christmas. It's more
they're the vintage softer colors, and
yeah, it looks great.
Super cute. So I think he'll look sweet on it. He's coming. Well, he and his parents are coming. He's not coming on his own. He's 2 months, but he's coming in the second week of January, and I will be sure to have some pictures of him on the quilt in his little hat. Maybe nothing else. Maybe just those 2 things, but I'm looking forward to seeing him with that quilt. And then he'll be able to use it, because even though it's just a crib size, like I can still see pulling that out in years to come.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily Christmas. It's kind of all winter.
That's big enough for a lap blanket.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure my cats would love to curl up on that too, but they're not getting it. So, okay.
Well, it's gorgeous.
What else do you have?
Okay, so that was it for knitting, but I've been doing some other things. So this is the latest venture.
Yes, we've decided to become candle makers.
So anyway, I know.
Just for ourselves.
Can you smell that?
Yeah, smell it. Oh, it does smell really nice.
This one is honey fig ginger. So these jars, I bought candles in these jars and burnt them all, but I keep all the jars, and my daughter also kind of buys these too. So these are really nice jars, like they're the weight of them, and
so they're an 8-ounce candle size too.
Yeah. So I made the candles. I just got these stickers. That's on the wrong side there. So those stickers, just basically from the dollar store, that just say handmade with love. So I've got that on the top of the sticker, and then down on the bottom I just put the scent, because I've done 4 different scents for this year. But we've also, Kelly and I have ordered a whole bunch, so we're going to get into it more.
We ordered the soy to make more, and we ordered 12 different scents each.
Yes.
Just to see what we like.
So that one is the 8-ounce, but then I did 12 of the 8-ounce ones, and then I've got 5 of these little ones that I just did in the little 4-ounce mason jars. And this one is bourbon.
I like that one.
I know, I really like this one.
Did I get that scent too? I don't remember.
You did.
I did? Yeah.
Yeah. And they were fun to make, and it's not hard. I have made them in previous years, but just in the little jars, but I thought it would be nice to make them like in these jars. And then when they take the little labels off just to open them, then you've just got a nice
Yes.
like black classic looking candle jars. So I'm telling them all to keep their jars if they want. If they want
another
refill
candle, they have to
candles
bring the
next
jar
year.
back. Yes.
Yeah. So that's one thing that I've been working on. And then last podcast, Kelly had done the stars.
Yes.
So right away I had to go out and get the paper to do the origami stars.
I think Dollarama now has a shortage on folding paper because Lynn, my coworker, found that I had gone first to a craft store and I had bought a few pages.
Mm-hmm.
They were 99 cents a page. So my coworker went to Dollarama, this is what we have here in Southern Ontario, and she came in the next day and she had a book of 50 pages for $4. So that just happened to be right at our last podcast.
Yep.
And so Noelle saw the stars because I made the background that I have down in the craft room. And she went out and she bought some. And then I think you bought every kind that they have, every book.
I don't know if I bought every book, but I found the foil one. The little bit
and then
heavier
you found
foil one.
Yes. And then she said, now it's getting in a short supply because a few other people asked where we got the paper. So Dollarama can thank us for that.
Yeah, so then after I did the stars, I thought, well, I want to try some other things too.
Trees.
So
look at that.
I did some little trees. And then look at this one.
Look at how cute these are. Just look at them.
And this little tiny one is just done in origami paper. But the smaller you get, the more difficult it is
the trickier
to
it gets.
do. Yes.
They're so cute.
But they're kind of neat. So I'm just, like I said, the baskets that we put together for our kids are just going to have like some little decorations in it too with the trees.
With the stars,
and the
honestly,
stars.
you could just put the stars on your trees. Like you could hang them.
Yep.
And actually, a lot of the stars would look really nice on your tree
Yep.
too. So I think I'm still going to make some more stars because I've made a few at home. But you didn't bring the big one in,
No.
did you? She made really big ones. She used the full 12-inch
Yeah.
paper and folded up some really big ones. And she was asking me tonight, she goes, yeah, but what do I do with it? Well, she's got a nice light fixture right over the top of her dining room. I said, you could hang the big ones from that.
But the thing with the stars and the thing with the trees and that, you're basically just starting with a square of paper. So the size that you get just depends on the size of the square that you start with. So the tree is basically just one square and all folding, minimal cutting. And then the star is 2 squares, again, folding and minimal cutting.
Yes.
But the star you do glue.
Yes.
Okay, the tree is basically just a little bit of cutting and folding, and that's it. So,
and then there's some other shapes too. I haven't done the other shapes, but I wanted to. There's one that looks like a circular fan where it's just fans.
Tracy sent me this one of this ball that you can actually use it as a stress ball, but I haven't had time to try it yet. But I got the paper.
So we've branched into paper folding, but we're still amateurs. But they're fun.
But it's fun.
It's
fun.
It is
It's
fun.
just,
sometimes it's just fun to have something that's a little bit different to do as a craft too.
Yeah.
Like just, take a break.
Yep.
We're not just knitters. We're
No.
multi-crafters.
No. Okay, and then one other thing that I wanted to show too was when we were talking about all of the socks. Now, this is just what I do with mine. So basically, they all get their socks with the Nelson Christmas socks on them. So they're all wrapped up for everybody. And again, I just stuck it together with the Handmade with Love sticker.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of nice put like that. And then, there's a couple of pairs in each basket for both of them. And the little kids' ones in. We make a little smaller sticker for the kids' ones. And I know, Kelly, you actually do have...
in my Etsy shop. If you don't have some of your own family labels, I have a couple of more generic labels in there that say Handmade with Love, and then there's another one.
There was one for mittens too.
Mittens, but I mean, you could put it on anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't specifically say mittens. You could put it on socks. The washing and care instructions are on the back, and the little girl with the mittens, actually Kendall drew that pattern too, or that design. So yeah, and those are in the tangled
stitch shop.
Stitch
all of that is in
show notes.
Yeah.
So you could get those if you were so inclined.
Yeah. So
okay, what else do we have? Is that it?
That's all I've got for finished. Yeah.
Okay, so we can move on to
whips,
which is going to be a really short segment because, as luck would have it, as with a lot of other things that we do, we showed up with the very same whip. Only one. And the very same. So you can
Let's show it at the same time.
We'll do them at the same time. Oh, and look, they happen to be living in Tangled Stitch shop bags too. Isn't that a coincidence?
Okay.
You're a little further along though.
This is the project that we can actually do during Knit Chat.
Knit Chat. Well, we think we can.
Well, I can because I'm already past all my increases.
I'm not there yet. But...
So this is the Muscle Burrow hat by Isilda Teague. And basically, once you get past all of your increases at the beginning, you're just knitting a tube. So it's just round and round, circular needle, not even like a sock, because a lot of times we put patterns in our socks.
Right.
Right?
No,
this is just straight knitting. So there's no counting, no nothing. No. And basically for a long time, you don't even have to measure.
No.
So.
But we are both doing the same thing in that once we reach the end of our cast on and when we get to the required stitches, we're weighing this so that we will knit all the way down to that weight, and then we will bind off
to the decreases.
Yes. And so
we can use all of the yarn.
Right. And your yarn that you're using is?
Mine is Lolo Did It Sparkle Sock. The color is Pretty Little Zombies. And it's, I don't know if you can see, but it may not catch it in that, but it does have sparkle in it. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I really like it. It's just as pretty.
I like it too. I really like it.
So.
I love anything with that pop of green.
Yeah.
And I'm using something that's a little bit different. So mine will not be variegated. This is the Knit Picks yarn, and it's static yarn. And this is colorway Quest. So you can see that it's kind of a patterning, like a self-patterning. So it would have different stripes of color. So obviously the stripe is more concentrated and dense. It kind of looks like a big bullseye.
Well, and yours is going to be like, because of the way that it is, like when you're done, you might have a different look depending if you put the one end one way or if you put in the one end the other way.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So anyway, we thought these would be fun to work on during Knit Chat because we shouldn't be able to make too many mistakes with them.
Well, you never know.
Well,
but at least they'd be easy
everybody.
to fix mistakes. Most likely it would just be a drop stitch. So they'd be easy. It would be an easy mistake to fix. But anyway, those are fun. So, and I actually put mine on my pony cord and tried it on to make sure that it was a good size.
Good.
Good. Okay, so I do have a couple of another whip, but it's not a knitting whip. So these are my tea towel whips. So these will be done by Christmas. This is what I'm working on right now, which is why I don't have as much knitting done. But this is this one is a houndstooth pattern. That fringe is not going to be there. It gets cut off and sewed. But this is fabric that I've woven in order to make 3 tea towels. So this material is called Cotlin, and it is 40% linen, 60% cotton. So, and that will make 3 tea towels once I cut it up.
Oh, they're so nice.
So
I love Noelle's tea towels. You have no idea.
So that's the first one. I really love houndstooth.
I do too.
So it's just a neat looking pattern. Like, it's amazing, like, that it develops just from, all it is like 2, 2, 2 in your weft, like alternating, and same in your warp.
Yes.
And it makes that houndstooth pattern.
Yeah.
So, and then it's kind of neat because the color fades from the dark into the light. So you get like opposite squares here of your dark and then the light. So that's one pattern. And I'm going to get them woven first and then do all the sewing and cutting at one time. And then this one is actually 100% cotton.
Oh yeah, you can feel the difference.
Yeah. And so these ones are going to be plaid. So this that you see, where is it?
Here?
Yes, this.
Here.
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 Not here?
Here.
Okay, wherever
here.
Kelly's pointing.
This
wherever
here.
Kelly's pointing. That's
at least I think. I have no idea what I'm pointing
That's
at.
kind of like the waist yarn that's put in there so that I know where to cut.
So you know where to cut.
Yeah. So again,
these are really pretty too. I love this.
This will be 3 tea towels. And then the pattern that I've got on the loom right now is a log cabin design, which is neat because it looks like it has depth almost to it. I'll give you a picture of it to put.
Okay.
But it does. It's almost like optical illusion when you look at the log cabin one. But you can see, like, because you've got some of the tea towels, so when you wash this, how much it...
Oh, it's like the softest fabric ever. And dense then. Then it's really dense, right?
So...
They're my favorite to use. Somebody said in Knit Chat the other night when I was commenting how nice these would be in my bathroom too as hand towels, that Noelle didn't hear the hint. She heard the hint. She was using her mom ears and cleverly ignoring the hint drop there.
Well,
I don't have...
Maybe after Christmas.
I don't have a loom. I can't weave.
I can
These are really
lunch mine.
It's so pretty though. They're really
Anyway.
beautiful. You do such a nice
Yeah,
job.
thanks. We'll get there. We'll get done. So again, I want to get the ones that are on there and then one more set done before Christmas. So that's it for whips.
Okay. Okay, so we have a few acquisitions,
Yep.
and I think our acquisitions
Some
are
of them
the
are the
same
same.
too.
Yep. Okay.
We're literally
I only
one
brought
person split in half.
I didn't bring all my colors. I only brought my cones.
Okay, I brought cones too. I know where you're headed with this.
We all bought.
Get the cones out here. And of course they're similar colors too. So
We didn't know what colors the other person was ordering.
No, we didn't at all. So
I shouldn't hold it like that.
it'd be worse if you hold them this way.
I was what I was doing.
Okay, so these are Holst.
Mine are Coast. Are yours Coast?
Some are. This
Okay.
one's not. Okay.
Okay.
Holst Coast
Yes.
yarn, which is
It is a.
super. Oh, that's right.
It's
I was gonna
lamb's
say
wool and cotton.
This is my Coast one. I
Okay.
put it away. Sorry. It is so soft.
It
So
is.
the other ones are called super soft.
Yes.
But we've had that
But Coast
conversation
is
already. But
softer.
this is
Yeah.
soft beyond soft.
Yep. So this is mushroom.
And this one is river.
Okay. And this.
Which is why I asked you what color this was, because
It's
see,
darker.
it is darker, but it's complementary.
Yeah. Yep.
And then,
And this is Dove.
sorry for the crinkle. Let's get it over with quickly.
I didn't bring all my other ones.
There.
We'll
Okay.
see, we'll see them when we work with
So
them.
what I want, and my color, this is straw,
Yeah, I like that color.
which is suspiciously similar to what I'm wearing. And then this one is oatmeal. And I just thought this one was a nice neutral. I have some navy that I think would look really nice with this. I even have the Moorland green, which
Yes.
would look really nice
Yeah.
with this too.
Well, there's actually
lots of
like
things
I
to look
have
at
I
this.
have a bin of cool stuff and of Holst, like the little cakes and a lot of the cones, and it's amazing how many of the colors go with each
Yes,
other. Like they
yes.
all seem to be sort of in that same kind of tone.
Yes.
So
No, it smells woolly. I found
well,
this.
these don't because these are Coast.
Right, but this one smells woolly. Does that smell woollier than normal?
No.
No? Okay, because I didn't notice the
smells good.
woolly wool smell the last time I ordered. But anyway,
And this is Coast.
this is Coast, and
Okay.
I was going to talk about that. So I had seen. I thought I was the last person in the world that didn't have a ranunculus sweater, but apparently
not.
I'm not, because we talked about this on Knit Chat, and there are other people that don't have one. So I decided, I had seen where a few knitters have been using 2 strands of Coast and 1 strand of Titicaca.
Okay, so 3 strands altogether.
3 strands held
okay.
together to make a ranunculus. And this color, I don't know that it had a color. Like I think, maybe it's stonewash, but I'm not 100%
Okay.
certain. But it was listed as being a complementary color, and really you can barely tell the difference there, right? There's just
That'll
very
just
slight,
blend together
you
when
won't
you-
see
yeah.
it at all. But this.
I know. I
is
have some of this.
so soft.
I
And
think.
it's ultra fine, 100% baby alpaca.
Oh, I know. It's just like,
And it's just squishy and soft. And so this is already soft.
I know.
And then you add that to it, and I think it's
Yeah.
going to be...
And this is like a lace weight because this is a 50-gram cake and there is 400 meters in here.
So to make the sweater, I only needed 2 of those.
Yep.
And
Well, you won't even use probably the whole 2.
no.
So
And then the only other one that I ordered along with that, I got a bleached white. Which
is that the Coast or
this
the
is super soft.
Okay.
But even this color, like there's another pairing that I thought was
Well,
quite
I
nice too.
even liked those 2.
Yes.
Like just for really soft, subtle,
For-
maybe striped or.
Well, I'm thinking that I wouldn't mind having a very subtle color work sweater,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like to really go with tones that are very neutral. But I thought this looked nice, and I actually even liked this with the oatmeal too for
Yeah.
another subtle look. And this is really popping in the lights, but
I have some of that too. And it would look good because it looks good with this one too.
yeah, it would.
Yeah.
It'd be really pretty.
And then I bought
I was gonna grab these and put those in my tote box, but they're not mine.
this too. Like I'm buying, it seem to be like the tones I'm buying are all the same.
Who are we all of a
I
sudden
know.
buying these neutral
this
colors?
is the Sand and Scarn Saisu, which is what I did the first
Dress.
the first little dress in. But again, like I really like it.
Yes.
And it's really cost effective. And I just thought that was a nice neutral because it's not really cream and it's not really,
No.
but I thought I'm buying all these neutrals because I think they'll look good with putting some of the hand spun in.
Yes.
With them.
Now they actually call this their sock yarn because it is an
Yes,
80/20.
yeah, you could do socks with it, yeah.
But it's a little on the heavier side. Do you not think?
Um,
Like compared to other fingering, I think this is just slightly
I
thicker.
actually did raw socks in it and I found it,
Did you?
yeah, I found it was
Okay.
fine.
All right.
So, like it's a little loftier.
Yes. Yeah, maybe that's what I was thinking. Because
So-
it does feel a little different than a traditional
Yeah,
sock yarn.
but I
right?
bought enough of that for a sweater.
It's pretty. It's
So
really
just
pretty.
because I really liked the color. And then the other thing I bought, I really liked this color. And this is Woolies, and I have to do a sweater for a gift sweater for a 1-year-old. So I think I'm gonna do the antler cardigan
Antler cardigan.
the antler cardigan in that, because I just thought that color is like it's called, what's it called? It's either called icicle, and it's just like a kind of a bluey gray, and I thought
That's
it's nice
similar
for a boy
to my,
or a girl.
That's similar
Yeah.
to my Celtic sweater. The
Yeah.
color, right? It's
And I
very
thought
pretty.
like it would be a really nice sweater to wear just with a little pair of jeans.
Yeah,
Or,
and it's soft. It's really
So-
soft. Very nice.
yeah, so I have to get that done by the end of the year.
By the end of the year.
But I can start after Christmas. It's just a little size 2 cardigan that I'm gonna do, and that's worsted weight, so it'll be
Yeah.
fine. It'll be fine. That's all I bought. Well, that's all I've got here. That's pretty much all I bought. I have colors that go with this, but I didn't bring them all down.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just show them as I use them in a project.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anything else? Do you have anything else?
No, I'm at the end of the notes.
Okay.
And we
Did we
pretty
did
much
we look
stuck
at the
to the
notes?
notes. I did. I don't know.
I think I did. I think I got everything. Yeah,
our
looks
notes
like
were
it.
shorter this time.
Yes.
But
See, if I write them down, then I oftentimes don't have to look at them. What I forget is when I'm talking about something that I don't have,
right.
that I've already given away. That's harder to remember.
I'm terrible for trying to go back and remember things when I'm looking at the camera. If I were just talking to you, I could remember, but I feel pressure when I'm staring down the camera. So, but anyway, we just wanted to, I guess, end this episode with a thank you. A thank you to all of you that have followed along on our journey. We just went through our 1-year podiversary a couple of episodes ago, and it's been a really good year.
Yeah.
It's been a really good year. I
Not
I
lots
was
of people.
invited to join the podcast when Jacqueline had to step away, and I have enjoyed every episode that we've put together. And we do have a lot of fun. We have a lot of laughs, as you probably noticed by some of the blooper reels that I include in the episodes. And we have met, as you said, so many lovely, lovely people. And I like to think that we have the best audience ever.
We do
you
have the
guys
best audience.
are super special.
Yeah.
And we want to thank you too for coming in tonight. We're here in Noelle's house with her beautiful tree. And we also want to recognize that although we are very pro Christmas and we love everything that it means for us, we are definitely cognizant of the fact that Christmas doesn't mean the same for everybody.
Yeah.
And we've tried to be a little mindful and not overload our episodes with Christmas, even though we've enjoyed our making for Christmas, but we enjoy our making all year long.
Right.
So if Christmas is not your thing, or if it has some painful triggers, or it's just not been a source of joy, I hope at least you've been able to get some joy from your knitting and your making, and by watching what we're making. We're being inspired by all of you and the things that you're joining in with our knit-alongs, and so that's where we're at. It's where our heart is at.
Yes.
So it doesn't really matter, I guess, that it's Christmas. We've just had a lot of fun and joy making for the people in our lives and sharing all of that with you.
Yep. Yes, I do I mean, I do knit a lot of things for myself, but I do really like making things for.
It's such a special feeling, especially when you see somebody wearing something that you've made. That's the ultimate compliment. Like it's nice when they're appreciative and thankful when they get it, but when you actually see it on them, then you know they really liked it.
I do really think that like I see my kids with their socks on, and it's just makes me happy. So then it's more fun to knit them.
Joyful knitter heart. So well, we'll be back with another regularly scheduled podcast early in the new year. We've got some plans for next year, and we're hoping that we're still able to podcast together. We're hoping to get a little bit of, when I say traveling, I don't mean far and away traveling. I mean just some sort of local traveling within our province. We have some places that we want to go and some things that we want to do. And we would like to bring you along with us to share in those travels and journeys. And so I guess
New Year.
That's pretty much it.
New Year, new yarn.
New Year, new yarn.
No, we said we were not going to buy yarn.
We're not going to buy yarn. Well, if we're traveling, we're going to buy yarn.
Well, yeah. I mean, souvenir yarn doesn't count.
So maybe we can end the episode with a toast.
Okay.
Toast to all of you.
Yep, all of you
who have supported us. And to next year, to shiny, happy year. Hopefully it's a good year for everyone.
Yeah, and we hope that you continue to join us, and if you have a chance, join in the Tuesday night knit chats, because we don't always talk about knitting. In fact, most of the time the conversation veers away from knitting, but we always talk about something interesting.
Yes, absolutely. So yes, absolutely.
We've learned lots during knit chat.
We've learned a lot.
I've learned more than I needed to know about possums.
All right.
So
cheers, everyone.
Yeah, so hopefully you all have a wonderful holiday season, and we will see you. Well, if you come to Knit Chat, we'll see you next week. But if you're watching the podcast, we'll be back next year. Yep. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. You start this time.
Get all my stray hairs out of the way. Starting's the worst.
Starting is the worst.
Here we go. Silly giggles again.
Gotta get it out of the system. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not chipping my tooth today. Okay.